What do you think's going on with Netflix? And don't tell me it's everybody going back out to the movies, or maybe it is.
I definitely think we are peak Netflix in the United States, Brian. That's one of their big issues, and it has been actually for a few quarters, is saturation here in the States, especially while new competitors launch here. Now, if you take a look at what's happening globally, remember some of their domestic competitors, think about Disney Plus and now a little bit of HBO Max, they're also starting to grow overseas. And so that's squeezing them a little bit. You know, Netflix's response is, look, we didn't add as many subscribers this quarter because we just added so many in the back half of 2020 during the pandemic. But what I'm curious about, Brian, is whether or not this trend continues. If they can't get out of that 200 million subscriber number range within a significant amount of time, we're going to see some of these streaming competitors catch up. Disney's now over 100 million. Amazon Prime has over 200 million subscribers worldwide. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, Tim, you wonder, does everybody here, to Sarah's point, have it, you know, that wants it? International has obviously been the big story as well. What do you think is going on with Netflix, and are you a buyer on the weakness?
Well, they did report 24% growth, so let's not lose the fact that they're doing very well. They're actually making money now as a streaming provider, where for years they grew on borrowed money. So underlying it, the numbers are fundamentally pretty good. What the slowdown in subscriber growth means, it's still growth, and we're not sure what the source of that weakness was. I believe a little bit that you had a big pull forward last year, and you're going to begin to see some softness in the legacy streaming businesses like Netflix, as Apple, as Disney, as HBO, all begin to add subscribers. So it is getting to be a saturated market, but it can still be a very profitable market.
Yeah, and we hear your point, Tim, very, very well, but this is Netflix, and it's, you know, it's, hey, you've been so hot and so great for so long, we just kind of expect it. Do we need to ratchet down those expectations for Netflix and realize it's still a growth company, but it's never going to be the company it was simply from the law of large numbers?
Right. Certainly the law of large numbers is going to catch up with them to a degree. They have a large total addressable market globally. They also have not had a lot of productions. You've had the global pandemic didn't just slow down restaurants and hotels. It basically put a stop to a lot of production. You don't have any movies coming out in the theater, and you don't have a lot of new shows like a Stranger Things, like an Orange is the New Black, that are driving subscriber growth. So they're spending $17 billion on content, and the expectation is that some of that content will begin to drive an increase in subscribers again.
Yeah, you know, Sarah, it's a weird world because, you know, all these TV shows and movies, everything, well, not just that, our lives, put on pause. I've got to imagine there's going to be at some point just this massive unveiling of all these new shows, not just Netflix, everything, all these new movies that have just been in stasis for the last 12 months.
Yeah, well, Netflix gave us some guidance on that yesterday in their video call. They said, look, some of our hit sequels, think about You, think about Cobra Kai, The Witcher, they're going to come back in Q4. So they think that the big bloat that you're talking about, production pause, production comes back, is closer to the end of the year. And they're hopeful that that's going to bring in new subscribers when that programming comes back. But I do also want to say, it's not like Netflix had nothing over the past year. I mean, they had Bridgerton, which was a huge success, not just here, but also around the world. They had some really big movies. I mean, Netflix broke records with 35 Oscar nominations. We'll see how they do this Sunday. So they did have a little bit of programming throughout this period. But yes, to your point, it's going to get a lot better for them towards the end of the year when production comes out and when they're going to be able to put more stuff in front of consumers.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.